Bono, the leading authority in the world in the field of creative thinking, developed a simple and effective system that increases productivity, called the Six Thinking Hats. The Six Thinking Hats method was developed in order to promote de Bono's idea of lateral thinking, which is solving problems through an indirect and creative approach. The purpose of de Bono's Six Thinking Hats method is to organize thinking into separate modes so that an individual, group, or anyone using the method can think clearly and fully about an issue or topic. The changing of hats is to initiate different modes of thinking, which when operated in a group should be done together in order for each person to wear the same hat at the same time. De Bono's expected result is for the users of the thinking hats to think clearly yet creatively, switching the thinking process from a regular argument style to a map-making style of thinking. The Six Thinking Hats allows users to explore all options, thus creating the map, by wearing each hat and exploring each style of thinking. Secondly, the hats allow those using the method to assess all possibilities and choose the best route. If utilized effectively, the Six Thinking Hats method results in three effects: a willingness to look for further alternatives, to pause and see if there might not be a totally different approach, and fluent and deliberate use of lateral thinking techniques. The Six Thinking Hats method previously has been used in many situations for many different reasons and can be utilized effectively for most age groups, from children to adults, in regards to almost any topic. De Bono explained that the normal behavior of the brain when perceiving anything is to incorporate emotions, helplessness, and confusion, which systematically, yet subconsciously, causes individuals to set up patterns and follow them. This idea of our normal behavior is applicable to all individuals, which demonstrates how useful the method can be to any age group. De Bono continues to suggest the only way to break out of these subconscious patterns is to learn, practice, and apply techniques. An educational consultant for de Bono's Six Thinking Hats method used in schools quotes Psychology Today in an article she wrote. We owe de Bono a debt for constantly reminding us that thinking is a skill that can be improved. The white hat represents the information, data, or facts already known or necessary for further investigation or exploration of a topic. An example of white hat thinking is what information is already known or needs to be gathered about this topic. The use of the white hat is to gather raw information that is free of influence of opinion and is simply true fact. The white hat is very important when using the Six Thinking Hats method, as it establishes a basis of information on the topic which is being explored. The red hat represents feelings, hunches, and intuition, also while emotions are present without further explanation. An example of red hat thinking is, what are your feelings or gut feelings about a certain topic? The red hat is necessary whilst using the Six Thinking Hats method, as it allows individuals to express their personal thoughts, opinions, and feelings about a matter which they naturally have. The yellow hat represents optimism, value, and strength, also while seeking the benefits. An example of yellow hat thinking is, what works well about this? What are the benefits or good things about it? The use of the yellow hat is essential to further exploring any topic and requires the wearer of the hat to look for the positive benefits or good things that are said to be within any situation. The black hat represents caution, risk, and critical thinking. An example of black hat thinking is, what obstacles were in the way because of this? What did you dislike about this? The black hat is key in using de Bono's method effectively. Seen to be negative, the black hat rather encourages the wearer to think logically and criticize how the topic or situation does not mark up. The green hat represents new ideas, possibilities, predicting, and creativity. An example of green hat thinking is there other ways to do this? What new possibilities could you create? The green hat is particularly vital as it stretches each individual's level of thinking and allows them to express themselves as they create new possibilities and ideas. The blue hat represents metacognition, managing the thinking process, and thinking about thinking. The example of blue hat thinking is explain why or how you chose that answer. The blue hat is also very important to use in the thinking hats method, as it requires each person to gain further control over their thinking and as they examine their own thought process. De Bono's six thinking hats method was not created with a faith or Christian perspective built in. However, it encourages users of the method to think with different hats or modes to fully form a thorough opinion on a topic. The Bible speaks in Ephesians about an old way of thinking, and if and when a person decides to follow Jesus and become a Christian, they have a new and fully transformed way of thinking. Ephesians 4, verse 21 to 24 says, "When you heard about Christ and were taught in him in accordance with the truth that is in Jesus, you were taught with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your mind, and to put on the new self created to be like God and due righteousness." The way in which the Bible explains a full transformation of thinking changes the way in which those with a Christian faith will utilize the six thinking hats method, as those who have a Christian faith will not only analyze a topic with the perspective of each thinking hat, but also with a new attitude in their mind influenced to be righteous and holy like God. Beverly Christian, an Australian university lecturer, introduced the concept of an additional thinking hat, the purple hat. Christian introduced the concept of the purple hat to provide people with a Christian faith a stable reference point and certainty of knowing. To further ensure Christians an opportunity to keep beliefs and actions consistent with a Christian worldview. Therefore, the purple hat represents values, ethics, and discernment. An example of purple hat thinking is, how does this idea fit in with my understanding of the world? Examples of classroom use could include problem solving in group work across various areas of curriculum, including but not limited to history, geography, math, or science. An additional practical example of using de Bono's six thinking hats method in the classroom could be when establishing with the class the classroom rules for the year. Number 1. The students are instructed to wear the green hat to individually answer the question, what is possible, what can we create, and create for themselves new ideas. Students would next record their own ideas of classroom rules which they think would be suitable, fair, and useful in the classroom. The first activity is a clear demonstration of structured and goal-oriented individual creativity. Number 2. Students are instructed to wear the black hat. Students will be instructed to form small groups of up to 4 people and attempt to choose and critically analyze the list of rules they individually created as a group. Students would then choose their most favoured rule to contribute in the next stage of the activity. Students are then instructed to wear the yellow hat. The small groups once again gather as the whole class and in turn contribute the rule their group has chosen. The small groups would one at a time explain their rule and advise the class as to why they think their rule is positive and beneficial for the classroom and their classmates. Students would next be instructed to wear the blue hat. To utilize the blue hat, the class would once again gather to rethink their ideas for classroom rules, to think about their previous thinking when creating these rules. Number 5, students will next be instructed to wear the red hat to discuss the rules they have chosen and to see if they will work effectively in their classroom. To have this discussion, the floor will be open to students raising their hand to contribute their gut feelings and opinions about the rules the class has chosen. Number 6, lastly, students will be instructed to wear the white hat to determine the facts and information, to discuss and compare how the classroom rules fit into their individual parents' rules and the fundamental school. Utilizing de Bono's six thinking hats method in this context and activity will produce an effective result, as the students have individually created, contributed, and have been involved in the entire process. This will encourage students to follow the rules, gain a good work ethic, and create a positive work environment as they have ownership over their classroom.